Islam, you better set the tone of this fight. You cannot sit back and wait for Jack Della Maddalena to determine where and how the fight takes place. You got to push him against the octagon side and get him on his back foot.
In terms of skill set, where would you rank Jack Della Maddalena in the opponents that you faced?
Like top 3. He's one of the best who I fight ever. Because he's a champion. Like UFC champion, it means you are like high-level fighter.
UFC 322 is just hours away, and the UFC legend Daniel Cormier has shared a final last-minute advice to Islam Makhachev that will help him dominate JDM this Saturday night. Daniel Cormier advises Islam Makhachev to take control from the start at UFC 322. He emphasized that Islam shouldn't wait for JDM to dictate the fight, but should push him against the cage and keep him on the back foot. Cormier explains that putting Jack in that position will create openings for takedowns, improving striking opportunities, and slowly wear down the confidence JDM brings from his previous win over Bilal.
Islam, you better set the tone of this fight. You cannot sit back and wait for Jack Della Maddalena to determine where and how the fight takes place. You got to push him against the octagon side and get him on his back foot. If you can get him on his back foot, it will open up takedowns, but it will also open up your striking and chip away at the confidence that Jack is carrying into this fight after the Bilal Muhammad fight.
Daniel Cormier also considers this matchup as Islam Makhachev's biggest challenge so far. He points to JDM's size, wrestling, and sharp boxing as key threats, highlighting and adding that his rising confidence increases the danger. Cormier believes JDM is prepared to test himself against Islam and prove he belongs among the sport's top fighters.
This is the hardest fight of his life. That's what he said. Like, hands down. This guy's big. He's a natural welterweight. He can wrestle. He's improved. His boxing is next level boxing. He's good. He's very, very good. There's been some tough fights in Islam's career, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone like this kid. Jack Della Maddalena is the real deal, man. He is, and the more he wins, the more confident he gets, right? So it becomes harder and harder to beat him. And I think that that fight that he had last time with Bilal gives him more confidence that he can go out there and fight a guy like Islam. So yeah, it's not about if I have anything positive to say about Jack. There's a lot positive to say about Jack. He's a world champion for a reason, and he's one of the best fighters in the world, hands down.
John and Nick also previews the main event between JDM and Islam Makhachev, highlighting that Jack is making his first welterweight title defense and faces possibly his toughest opponent yet. He notes that Jack enters as a difficult underdog, despite likely being the favorite against most other welterweights based on his performance against Bilal Muhammad. And Nick is curious to see how Islam carries the extra weight and performs at 170 pounds, adding that Khabib and his camp have prepared him well.
I think for Jack Della Maddalena, because he's making his first welterweight title defense here, and he acknowledged Islam Makhachev as the toughest foe he possibly could have faced, and he's a pretty big underdog this weekend, and I think it stands to reason, based upon the way he performed against Bilal Muhammad, if he was fighting anybody else at 70, he'd probably be the betting favorite to defend his title. It's fascinating to see Islam move up, to see how he carries the weight, to see how he performs at the weight, but I think Khabib and his camp has done everything in their power to put their athlete in a position to succeed. I think the betting line's way wider than it should be, but I do believe Islam, based upon his body of work, deserves the distinction as the favorite.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev remains fully focused ahead of UFC 322. He explains that he isn't concerned with anyone else's record and is only targeting JDM's belt. Having defended his lightweight title multiple times and competed in major events, Islam feels the timing is right to pursue a second championship, one he believes he has earned.
I don't think about Anderson Silva record. I just think about Jack Maddalena belt, and that's it. I just want to take this belt. I told like many times about the second belt. I did my job in lightweight, like defend more than everybody and like fight in the big events. But now it's the good time to move, and I know I am deserve to fight for the
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev isn't worried about Craig Jones assisting JDM. He explains that wrestling can't be mastered in a few months and that Jack has to improve himself. Islam points to examples like Chimaev and Duplessis, saying that even bringing in top wrestlers didn't change much. He emphasizes that success in wrestling comes from years of dedicated work.
Craig Jones, who's helping Jack with his wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, says that he's
I don't
fixed.
think
Yeah.
you help him with the
Yeah.
wrestling.
What do you think of Craig?
To help himself to wrestling. I just tell in the other interview, it's not working like this. You bring someone for a couple months and you become like good, And we have good example, Chimaev and Duplessis. Duplessis bring a lot of wrestlings guys, but nothing, It's things which one you have to do many years.
Is the only way you get better at wrestling going to Dagestan 2-3 years? Forget.
Yeah. If somebody want to prove 2-3 years, welcome.
Islam Makhachev further reacts to Craig Jones helping JDM, saying Craig should have at least one MMA fight before giving advice. He explains that joining a camp for a short time doesn't change much. Makhachev points to Dricus Duplessis, who brought in many coaches and partners for his fight with Khamzat Chimaev, showing that this kind of preparation doesn't always make a big difference. Islam Makhachev said, "Let's make this Craig one fight in MMA." It's not working like this. When you bring someone for one camp or two camps, I'll just give you a good example. Khamzat fighting Duplessis, DDP brought a lot of coaches and partners, but it doesn't work like this. Kamaru Usman also reacts to JDM training with Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski before his fight with Islam Makhachev. He notes that even when Dricus Duplessis worked with multiple wrestlers before facing Khamzat Chimaev, the real challenge only appeared in the cage. Usman emphasizes that no matter how strong the preparation, the fight itself ultimately decides the outcome.
When you see Alex Volkanovski, Craig Jones sitting in that room with him at Scrappy MMA in Perth, how much of an impact do you think those guys are having in the lead up and preparation for Islam?
I mean, it is what it is. You can't really tell. You can't really say that because look at someone like DDP. You saw when he was preparing for Khamzat Chimaev and he had 3 guys, I believe, wrestling him and trying to get him down, and he was kind of having his way with those 3 guys. That doesn't really tell the story. You don't know until you get into that fight and things start to play out. So who knows?
Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev admits he expects a challenging fight against JDM, even though he hopes it goes smoothly. He notes Jack's well-rounded skills, highlighting that, unlike many strikers, Jack handles himself well on the ground. Islam says he's preparing for any scenario but knows it will be tough. Asked by Daniel Cormier if Jack appears bigger in person, he replies that Jack is roughly the same height but may carry slightly more weight inside the cage. Islam Makhachev said, "I hope it's gonna be easy, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. He's a good. I watched many of his fights. Some of these strikers, if you take him down, they're like uncomfortable there. You know how to move, what to do. He's good everywhere. I hope it's gonna be easy, but ready for anything. He was not much bigger than me when I stood in front of him. He looked like same height, but maybe inside the cage, he's gonna be a couple of kg bigger than me." However, JDM also believes he will face the strongest version of Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He expects Islam to be healthier and more complete without the weight cut, making this the toughest Makhachev he has seen. Jack adds that he doesn't expect to have any major size advantage in the matchup.
I think it would be the best Makhachev, I believe. I think him not cutting the weight, I think he'll be a more filled out version of himself. He wouldn't have left so much in the weight cut. I think this is going to be the toughest Makhachev. So I don't expect to have a big weight advantage.
JDM doesn't expect a weight advantage over Islam Makhachev. He believes Islam will come in as a strong, fully fit welterweight and feel healthier without the strain of a weight cut. Jack adds that he's preparing to face the toughest and most complete version of Makhachev yet.
Well, even just the body transformation for him, right? I mean, were you curious? Was there anything in particular that you were looking for? Where is he at in this? Or does he look comfortable in the weight? Does he look as fast as the weight? Do you break him down to that kind of
Not really. We've sort of this whole camp since knowing Makhachev was going to come up, we believed he's going to be a big, strong welterweight. I don't believe I'm going to have a big weight advantage, to be honest. I think he's just going to be more filled out, probably more healthy. He probably thinks he's in the best he's ever felt, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I expect toughest Makhachev.
On the other hand, Usman Nurmagomedov talks about Islam Makhachev moving up in weight, calling it a big moment for their team. He says he can't imagine taking such a chance, but feels Islam is ready and predicts he could become a double champion, inshallah. Usman adds that he has learned a lot from Islam, picking up smart techniques by watching him spar and grapple, which influence how he performs in the cage.
This is big moment for our team. This is, like I can't even imagine for he will move up and he will take this chance, but I think I did this in sparring last time, and brother, he's ready to go, and of course we and whole team, we support him and we believe in he's gonna be double champion, inshallah. I learned from him a lot, all some smart things what I'm doing in the cage. I learned from him, even when I just watching how he doing sparring, how he grappling. Sometimes I try to watch how he doing.
Islam Makhachev also jokes about getting older at 34, saying the weight cut is harder now. He explains that he needs to take care of his body and health and feels welterweight is a better fit for him. Despite saying he's become old, Islam adds that he's still hungry and motivated to compete.
Yeah, because he know how hard to cut the weight, It's better now. You're no more young, I'm already 34, That's why I have to care about my body. And for the health, I think the welterweight's better for me.
Is he calling you an old man already?
All my life they say young, but now I'm become old.
You're the mature one.
Still hungry.
After his MMA career, Islam Makhachev plans to work with horses as a farrier. He says he owns 20 horses and wants to learn to care for them himself instead of hiring help. When asked how long it takes to clean a hoof, he joked that while a professional can do one leg in 2 to 3 minutes, it would take him 2 to 3 years to do the same.
I have deal with this one. When I'm retired, where you gonna go? You have some state. I forget. And you can learn how to do this. I have 20 horse, 20 somethings, and I have to pay people who take care, I can do by myself.
Save money.
Not money, I just enjoy.
How long does it take him to clean a hole?
Like professional guy, one leg by 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
But for me, one leg, it's gonna take 2-3 years.
On the other hand, Dana White believes JDM's career could change dramatically if he defeats Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He explains that a win would mean Jack has beaten one of the sport's all-time greats. White adds that while Jack might feel overlooked now, beating Islam would transform his life and career.
If he wins this weekend, he's beat one of the greatest of all time who tried to move up and take his belt from him at a lower weight. This will solidify this kid that he's the real deal. And like I said, he might feel disrespected today, but you have to look at who he's going against. His whole life will change on Sunday if he beats Islam Makhachev.
Dustin Poirier shares his thoughts and explains how Islam Makhachev restricted his striking in their fight and outlines what JDM will face at UFC 322. He says the constant threat of takedowns makes it difficult to plant feet and throw strong combinations. Poirier adds that success depends on timing, takedown defense, wall work, and staying in striking range without being taken down, as any misstep can leave a fighter off balance and exposed.
Skill set's going to go from 155 to 170, I think, without a problem. It's just going to come down to Jack's timing, his takedown defense, his wall work, and his ability to keep Islam in punching range without worrying about the takedowns. Because same thing for me, what I did. Islam made me a worse striker because I couldn't plant my feet to throw off combinations and dig down into punches, because I knew if my feet were set and tied down to the ground to land a power shot, that he was going to get on my legs. So the threat of that always in front of you for 25 minutes, it's hard to get off your combinations and get off the power shots you want to, because you know if you miss one of those punches, your legs are going to be exposed and your balance is off, you're going to get taken down.
Dustin Poirier describes JDM as a powerful athlete with quick, heavy strikes, saying he has what it takes to challenge Islam. He explains that the key will be balancing effective striking with solid takedown defense. Poirier adds that Islam will constantly target the legs, making it difficult to throw punches, kicks, or knees without the risk of being taken down.
And I think Jack's an incredible athlete, a big puncher, good hand speed. He has all the tools to upset Islam. It's just, can he find that rhythm where his striking and his takedown defense are kind of balanced to where he can really do damage? And I don't know if he'll be able to find that, because I don't think Islam's going to sit in the pocket with him. He's going to be touching the legs, making him think about that. And like I said, man, from experience, it's different to get off your combinations and set your strikes and knees and kicks up when you're so worried about your weight distribution on your legs, because this guy's going to snatch your leg as soon as you miss a punch.
Max Holloway also predicts JDM will finish Islam Makhachev in the third round. He explains that JDM's non-stop pressure and precise striking will slowly break Islam down. Holloway notes that although Islam appears tireless, he has shown fatigue before and believes JDM will capitalize on openings as Islam starts to slow.
No, call me crazy, but I'm running with Jack on this one. I think the very first 2 rounds is going to be super competitive, and we're gonna see how the fight is going to play out. I think Jack's takedown defense is going to be huge. He's going to show huge here. I think he's going to defend a bunch of takedowns. I think he's going to get Islam tired. I think the size he's going to put on Islam is going to be a little bit too much. You know, a lot of people keep saying, you know, that Islam doesn't get tired, but in fights you can see it. You know, he just wasn't as tired as the other guy next to him was. But in my mind, I see this way playing out. Jack getting him tired, getting his hand raised, maybe a third round TKO leaning towards Jack. And I think Jack is gonna find Islam's chin, you know. And when people find Islam's chin, you know, Islam when he gets hit, sometimes it looks like it gets to him, you know. I'm not saying like he's get hurt, like, oh my god, he's crazy hurt, but it looks like when he gets pinged, they don't like it too much. So
meanwhile, Bo Nickel views JDM as one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. He says he has analyzed Jack closely and sees genuine skill across all areas of his game. Nickel adds that this weekend's fight is particularly intriguing because JDM faces a top-level wrestler and grappler, creating a real test for how effective his striking will be.
The most underrated fighter in the UFC is, honestly, could be Jack Della Maddalena. He's fighting this weekend. I think that I've watched and studied him a lot, and dude's legit. So, you know, we'll see how this weekend goes. Obviously going up against a really good wrestler, good grappler. He's more known for striking, but I think that that'll be an interesting fight.
And so, that's a wrap for today's video. How do you see this fight card playing out? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more interesting MMA videos.